the first thing I want to change is I want to reduce this white space here. I think there's too much white space. Here we have too much white space. And I think here the spacing is okay. Again, also at the bottom, the spacing is okay. The reason why we have so much white space here and in the section above is that because we employ a padding of 100 pixels on both the top and the bottom. So that adds up to 200 pixels here, and that's too much. So let me remove those 100 pixels here and set that again to 0. And let's preview this again. I think this still looks exactly the same here because we didn't change anything here. This looks better. This looks better as well. And here, obviously, this looks terrible. So let's add a second class to this section here and call it bottom padding. And here we add 100 pixels again and preview. And now this looks better. And here it's exactly the same. So I think this spacing is a lot better. It's not so much white space anymore. Now again, remember there is a widget here which is currently not displayed, and that's because I'm currently using the preview and not looking at the live website. As soon as we publish everything, this is going to be visible again, and we're going to do that in a second. The last thing I want to change for now is make these tiles grow once a user hovers over them. Very similar to these buttons here. As soon as I hover over them, they grow, and that makes it more evident that they're clickable. So we employ exactly the same technique we used before. I'm going to select this blog post preview link, which is the element that is wrapping this whole section per blog post. And I'm going to select again the hover state and then scroll down to effects, go to transform, and then scale it up. And I want to scale it up by about, let's say, 5%. Now I'm going to swap back to none, the usual state, and then I'm going to add a transition to it. A transition makes it not so abrupt, because if you see it's jumping, it's not very nice to look at. So let's add a transition to it to ease it more. I'm going to select transform because we transformed it, and I'm going to increase the duration to 500 milliseconds. And now if I choose it, it grows more neatly, not so abrupt, and it shrinks also more neatly. Okay, I think that's it. Let's publish everything and then inspect how everything looks. There we go. That's our site currently. Here, the widget is working now. And we have our blog posts. Again, these buttons are not working right now, but once we have the site ready, then we can integrate them as well. And I think it's looking pretty decent for the moment. And that's it, your first page done in Webflow. Now the other pages are gonna go a lot quicker. Now we've figured out how to use Webflow, and it's really just practice from now onwards. So let's take a quick break and then reconvene and start designing the other pages.